Come to Uncle Moe's for family fun. It's good, 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 good.
Sounds good.
Hello and welcome to Uncle Moe's Family Feedbag, where we look at the dizzying highs, the terrifying lows, and the creamy middles of seasons 1 to 12. As always, I'm your host, Tyler McRae, and joining me is Cal Reader as we have a little play on the Simpsons random episode generator, spin the roulette wheel if you will, and pick every single episode and have a little critique and have a bit of fun on the road. Cal, how are we doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm very, very good. How do you think of our pilot?
I thought it was good. I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, smoothly as possible. No cock-ups whatsoever. They don't need to know, it's fine. We're coming at you today with Season 10, Episode 3, Bart the Mother. Initially directed by Stephen Dean Moore, written by David X. Cohen. The original air date being September 27th, 1998. And the couch gag is two firemen holding the couch as a safety net, and the whole family jumps onto the couch, apart from Homer falling through the floor. Initial thoughts on this episode, Cal? Any memories?
I like this episode. It's one I can't really remember watching when I was like young. I can't remember it ever being on Channel 4 or BBC Two. I just remember it being on Sky One kind of thing, which is later in the years. When we first got told when you first told me it was this episode, I kind of had to think a little bit before I got it mixed. I got it mixed up to something else about Murderer.
Oh right.
But yeah, no, it's a good episode. It's a strong episode. I think it's teetering on the stages where Simpsons starts getting a bit more weird and a bit more kind of loose with storylines rather than in a pilot where it's just literally bookended.
Yeah, a bit more wacky, a bit more loose, if you will.
Yeah.
I honestly can't remember the second half of this episode. Always remember the first half and what happens with Bart and what he actually does to commit the crime, but I got no memory of the second half.
Really?
Yes.
There's one bit of it. What I always remember bugging me when I was younger when I was watching it. When I rewatched the episode, it bugged me again. I'll talk about it when we get up to it, but it's just one bit, and it's always bugged me whenever I've watched that episode.
Fun fact: Nancy Cartwright has cited this as one of her favourite episodes she's ever had to do, as Bart faces a lot of moral challenges, and she really liked voicing and using this dialogue.
She's a weird one, Nancy Cartwright.
A lot of weird people are into Scientology. That really broke my heart.
Yeah.
I only found that out last year as well. Do you think she's pumped as much money as Travolta or Cruise?
No, I don't think she has. I swear she got warned by Matt Groening because she did it was like a voice message thing for the Church of Scientology in the voice of Bart Simpson.
No.
Without getting the rights from
anyone.
And they obviously found out and they either fined her or warned her or something like that, saying that if you do all that, basically unreligious the whole Simpsons really is. Being that God's the only one with five fingers.
I don't want to think about her funding Tom Cruise's teeth whitening money. It's just not on.
There was that thing that went around on Facebook a couple of years ago where she's like in a supermarket drive-through or like a Walmart drive-through or something like that, and she buys a load of cookies from this dude, from like a Boy Scout kind of
I have seen that.
I don't know why. I just find it the most cringe-worthy thing in the world. But she's just like, yeah, well, you're talking to Bart Simpson. Hey man, how are you? It's just like, and he's just like, oh wow, yeah, this is really interesting. And it's just, I don't know, it just feels really, like maybe in the 90s that would have been, or like early 2000s, that would have been more kind of like, oh my god, that's so cool, but...
Yeah, it's very old pasture, isn't it?
It just feels very circle jerky kind of thing.
Oh, of course.
But anyway, on with the episode. If you can't remember the back end of it.
We open up with the family going to a day fun centre.
They get the letter, don't they? They get the letter, which is Homer calls everybody around and says, mail call, and it says President, and then Marge takes it, and he goes, and that's it. And he goes, why did you call us all around because of this? And it's because he says something like, because of my God complex. What does he say now?
I never got that. Yeah, they're at the family fun centre, and Oh, what came first, the go-karting or Homer at the batting practice?
Go kart. Yeah, because as soon as he comes out of the car, he's like,
Man, it feels good to get out of that car. Go karts! Come on, everybody, let's go!
And then they're all racing around. Marge being the safest driver. Now, obviously, you don't drive for anyone wanting to know a bit more about Cal. He doesn't actually drive. He just more commutes. I'd like there to be more people like Marge Simpson. I say that. I tend to go at least a bit 5 miles over just for efficiency. No police listening, it's fine. Just for more efficiency. I don't mind drivers like Marge, but it's more like it's a bookend for me. It's more of an annoyance for me. Why are you obeying the law and I need to get home and play Red Dead 2? It's a damn inconvenience. Slow and steady wins the race. I just like this. This is good character writing. I expect this from Marge, and it's funny.
Yeah, you expect even like Lisa, the goody two shoes in the series, can get so much annoyed with her that she just kind of overtakes and laps her about 5 times.
Oh yeah, just seeing them all lap each other again adds to it. And then obviously Nelson comes into the fray. Picking on Milhouse. Milhouse is always the brunt of violence in that. Mole Man is for adults and Milhouse is just that kid. I don't know, he's easy to pick on and he semi-deserves it. Like, have you ever known anyone like that in life? Growing up through school, college, uni?
You? No, I'm joking.
I wondered why.
I know. Well, no, I have actually got. I think you've met him as well. I have got a friend called Adam, who's it's not the same as Millhouse, as he's annoying. He's just one of the nicest people you'll ever meet in the entirety of the world. He's this really kind, really sweet guy. I used to work with him, so what me and one of my friends used to do is just kind of darkly, not bully him, but kind of just have really horrific banter with him, like be really dark, just to see how he'd cringe and stuff. And I found out like a year later of knowing him, and basically just jokingly bullying him, that his dad was exactly the same, because he could take it and he just laugh at him because it makes him feel really old. He's literally the nicest person in the world. And when I found out his dad, I found out later like his dad was he added me on Facebook. I didn't add him, and like Adam was saying like that's such a rarity. Like you don't understand. Like I've had friends since childhood, and my dad just doesn't accept. Like he doesn't even add him, but you for some reason have got like the lucky ones.
Oh.
I always remember this story where it was just hilarious. Where he went, he wanted to text his dad round Father's Day, saying just to give it a kind of like idea of why this guy's like my Millhouse kind of thing. This is very similar to what type of jokes what I'd pull with him. His dad wants to he texts his dad saying, "What do you want for Father's Day?" And his dad texts back, "If I'm honest, the best present you can give me is not turning up. But I think it'd upset your mother, so you may as well show up."
Fucking hell. Jesus.
But it's funny. You think, "Oh, you're making me sound like a dick." I'm making myself sound like a dick. But like he does he does a lot for charity, and he wants to skydive. And he said all he wanted was like £300, and I said I'll give you 500 if you do it without a parachute. And the first person who liked it was his dad, and I was just like, "Well done, Martin. This is why we're friends." But yeah, he's my Millhouse, I guess. What about yourself?
Probably a couple. I'd probably say the biggest example. I don't want him getting anything from this. I'll just call him Dean. I don't know. He's just
Not Dean.
Dean. Yeah, good old trusted Dean. Yeah, I don't know. He's just annoying, and he'd never do anything to really upset. He was just more like very like Millhouse, very devoted or always wanting to hang out sometimes and that. And
Yeah.
I don't know, it's the kind of thing you shouldn't get bullied, but then there's sometimes where I'm not advocating bullying, by the way, people. This is a non-bullying podcast, but just some people sort of, you can see why. They don't help themselves.
No. Like I said, with me and my mate, he's a very good friend. I go visit him. He comes visit me when he's in Sheffield. I go visit him where every maybe, and it's literally like, I don't know, he's just a really good friend, but he just deserves to kind of have horrific sentences said to him just to see how he reacts to Darker the Bear.
So we cut to the inside of the day centre.
On that note,
Yeah, we cut to the inside of the day centre, and they're trying to win tickets. I love the little play back and forth between Lisa and Maggie, going for the Maggie assist there, giving a little fingers dance, very cute.
Later in the seasons where Maggie starts getting kind of cooler, because she is a bit of a badass. Like,
yeah,
where would you think that?
I actually really like that. What was it, early 2000s, where they have her saving Homer from drowning and all that.
Yeah.
I just always think it's fun. Obviously, it's again about sort of breaking character and all that. But I don't know. Maggie's just super fun. She's the innocent. There's nothing ever that bad about her, so it's always fun to see her with a little quirks or, you know, from episode to episode, just to see what sort of scrapes she gets into. I like later season Maggie.
There's a bit on the Simpsons movie that's really funny. It's like, get the baby, and then she smashes a ball. You can tell she's
that is one of my best bits. Like square go. It's fantastic. But yes, Bart tries to get some stuff with only 4 tickets, mustache comb, and 4 paper clips, I believe.
Mustache comb and 4 paper clips, or a bunch of rubber bands, and I can't remember what else it is.
Oh yeah, gross. But Nelson comes along with his stolen goods and his stolen tickets, and gets either a BB rifle or an easy bake oven.
Warm cooking would be nice.
So he goes for the BB gun. Bart always jumping in and always wanting to be the cool kid or be part of the cool gang. Asks to see if he can use it at some time, and Nelson says yes. And they meet round his house. But Marge has a couple of stern words, and with, I don't know about this, with mental health among young people being like at an all-time low, or like peaking with depressing issues and that, having her just go, he's a sad, lonely, vicious little boy. I don't know how I feel about that.
Really?
I don't know. I don't expect
where
it.
you're going with that. That went very dark quickly.
Well, yeah, it's just, I don't know if it's more the words or if I think it's a tiny bit out of Margaret's character, but just her saying he's a sad, lonely, vicious boy in an angry sort of voice. I don't know. It just maybe it rubbed me the wrong way. What about yourself?
I don't really. Because at the end of the day, you can you can tiptoe around the facts all you want, but there's people who are just kind of like, they're just dicks, and it kind of it's ageless in a way. Like I know parents who just say like, oh, that there's a girl at my daughter's school and she's just a cunt and she's just a nasty piece of shit. She brings the worst out in my daughter. She kind of bullies her to be her friend, kind of thing.
I don't know. I figured
and you can't bullshit around this thing. I think it's just a joke more than anything.
I know. I just figured maybe it's because it's Marge, it'd be more sympathetic, but not that she was wrong. It's just I just did not expect it. But we see Bart. He does meet up with Nelson, and he starts shooting off the Airbnb at his dad's car for more payments, and it's his.
So does this bit, what I think, because I'm still a bit unsure with the timelines of, like, obviously Nelson's dad being a bit of a loser kind of thing.
Oh, deadbeat, yeah.
Like, yeah, is he about, is he not at this point, like, has he gone for the cigarettes for Nelson, or has he...
No, I believe he is gone, he is not in his life, but I believe they did do a later episode where you find out where he's gone. And it's something odd, like it went for fags to pick up fags, and he got assaulted with some allergen. I'm thinking of shrimps and peanuts, but that was a Skinner and Bart thing. Anyway, some sort of allergen, and his face gets all swollen, and he ends up performing in a circus as a freak.
Yeah, but the thing is Nelson's dad does appear a few times before that happens, usually in background characters, or he'll say like one thing for comedic effect, kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
Um,
I've only seen him as the soccer coach.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Nelson dares Bart to shoot a bird's nest, and Bart wanting to go along, but he is having some sort of secondary judgment, so he moves the sight, but he ends up killing the bird anyway, even with the crooked sight.
That bit kind of killed me a little bit. I love, pun intended. Just to call, oh, he did it, even with a crooked sight. It's like, what?
Crooked sight. Now, was this good for you? Were you, I don't know, were you shocked initially?
I love killing birds. Yeah. No, I see. This is one thing that's kind of flashed me back. I always remember this bit on watching it when I was younger, and I don't know why it always kind of made me feel a little bit sick.
Well, yeah, it's something dying in a animated show. Obviously, you don't see that a lot, do you?
Yeah, especially at the time. Not obviously a bit more now, but like it always. I don't know why it always made me feel a bit ill. And there's this one, and then there's one later on which kind of freaked me out a little bit, which is Treehouse of Horror episode where Dr. Frink's father comes back and he starts stealing spines from people. That one always used to freak me out as well.
Oh yeah, that was creepy.
But yeah, I don't know. It always gave me like a sick feeling in my stomach. Not so much now because I've just basically been tainted by the internet and various other gruesome shows. But yeah, it was a little bit shocking, really, more than anything.
Yeah, Marge ends up pulling up, and she asks about what he's been doing. A load of cats start appearing around him, and she does find the remains of the bird. Now, this bit got me, because I've had this, I've had similar lines, or this discussion with my mum before. You know what? Do what you like. You're just a little hoodlum now. I don't care.
Yeah.
That hit me hard. That hit home. I don't know about you, but that's happened to me a couple of times, because my dad's the proper disciplinarian of the house, and he's all bark and bark and bark. So I'm used to it from him, but I don't know, when it's said from a mum, it means something.
It is, isn't it? It's more. It's the whole "I'm not angry, I'm disappointed."
Yeah, yes, exactly. The voice performance here from not Yardley Smith. Marge's voice actor, will pop it in later. Yeah, her voice actor just absolutely nails that shame, and yeah, I think she does a bang up job there.
I think it is. It's just to discuss.
Julie Kavanagh. Julie Kavanagh.
Yeah, it hits hard.
Yeah.
But I think it's just like, it does sound realistic. Or it's being like, you know what? Okay, do what you want. I don't give a shit anymore.
Mm.
Not the first time we've seen this from Marge as well, because there's obviously the whole. This episode always reminds me of this is an early one.
The Christmas one.
Yeah, where
Marge Be Not Proud. That's the one.
Yeah, it's very similar to that. The whole "what you doing now, you little thief."
Bart wants to make amends though, so he ends up taking the nest and learning how to look after these fragile eggs. Now this made me sad. I don't know about you.
Okay.
This is the last voice appearance of Phil Hartman.
Is it really?
Yeah, 3 months later, killed by his then ex-wife.
Wow.
Yeah, so I mean, I've never had a bad Troy McClure, Phil Hartman line or scene. He just nailed it every single time.
He was one of my favourite characters when I was younger. So when you were younger, what did you want to be? Like as a kid, like what did you actually want to be?
Oh God, actor or wrestler?
Actor or wrestler. So some wrestler wise, a bit daft kind of thing. I wanted to be my dad. I remember dad asked. He's like, "What do you want to do when you're older?" I was like, "I want to be a lawyer." And he was just like, "Oh, great!" It was just like, "But I want to be like Lionel Hutz. I want to be like an ambulance chaser. I want to be like a dodgy." I wanted to be that Lionel Hutz.
It's the greatest piece of libel since my suit against the never-ending story. Yeah, this was an absolute loss for the show. I think he was just taken way before his time.
Oh,
even if he never became a Hollywood leading man, he was always memorable in his roles and his voicing as well.
Well, he was going to be Fry, weren't he?
Was it Fry or was that Brannigan? Because they based, I think.
Well, they based Brannigan off his personality, off his like that thing. But he was the originality of the Futurama was Matt Groening wrote the character of Fry for Philip Hartman to kind of do what he wished for him. They wrote the first episode and such. I don't think they filmed the pilot, but then obviously then the murder happened, and in a form of respect, they called. That's why Fry's first name is
Philip.
Philip.
Ah, yes, of course. That makes a lot more sense now. I didn't know
And
that.
then they wrote the whole Zach Brannigan character in kind of memory of him.
Do you think Futurama would have been better if Hartman was alive? 'Cause don't get me wrong, solid show. Fantastic.
I'm not sure. I don't think it would be as good if I don't know why. I think Billy West is quite amazing.
But Bart, he wants to save the eggs. He's keeping them under an incubator. Marge ends up finding out. She's very happy he's had a turn of heart and wanting to do things right. So she helps him out, including a lovely little scene where... oh, wait, before that, this was one of my favourite bits. I mean, I don't mind physical comedy, but just the use of it. Him taking the light bulbs out and Homer going to the closet every time. Like, it's recycled animation, but it's just... I don't know, just the way of the fall, just the hands flailing, and obviously Homer's never going to learn, so it was just absolutely perfect for me.
I don't know, like, originally I kind of thought it got played off a little bit, like the second time I didn't laugh as much, and then it's the third, like, is it the third time with the pie? That, I don't know, that kind of brought it back to me. I was just like, yeah, okay, that's pretty funny.
Yeah. Because it was a long of a gap then, and yeah, it had the same effect for me, I can say. But it's time for the eggs to hatch. Chirpy Boy and Bart Jr. Not a personal fan of those names. Could you come up with better names, Cal?
No, I like it. If I'm honest, I do actually like it. It kind of works with the idea of him being Homer's son. Like, it's something always like, yeah, Chirpy Man and Homer Jr.? I don't know.
I don't know, I was thinking more Trump and May. Because they're lizards and people's skin. God, they just can't act right. I don't know. The eggs hatch, and they are Bolivian tree lizards, I believe, that come and eat the eggs of the mother. They eat the original eggs and then lay the eggs in the original bird's basket, leaving for them to care. So they try and see what they can do about these Bolivian tree lizards, and they go and visit the Springfield Birdwatching Association.
The bit that's always bugged me about this episode.
Oh, yes, right, because you only really know the second half. What's the bit that bugs you then?
Yeah, so can you guess what part of this scene bugs me? It's very small, but it's kind of, I don't know.
I'm trying to think. I don't know any minute things. Is someone off colour, or what is it? Something wrong in the animation?
It's a line.
Oh no, I can't think.
So the bit what's always bugged me is when Bart first enters the room, he talks to Skinner as though he doesn't know him.
Does he?
He goes, "Oh, hi there. I wonder if you can help. I've got these." It just feels so fake. It's like he should rewatch it after this.
So he made direct contact with Skinner. It wasn't just a general look around the room.
No, it literally goes straight to Skinner. He goes, "Hi, I wonder if you can help me," rather than kind of like bugging around. And I think especially in later series, he'd probably say something towards Skinner.
Oh,
That it's
I
actually
never
Skinner,
noticed
but it's
that.
not, and it's always bugged me. Because then straight away, Skinner just go, "Okay, Bart, we need to get rid of him." Like, he's aware that he knows who he is, kind of thing. But that bit, rewatch it after this, see what you think.
I never noticed that. How perfect is it that Skinner is the head of the Birdwatching Association?
I think it works for him.
This boring, dull man looking at birds.
Yeah.
I think they got that perfect for the character and who should be leading it.
What did you think? We'll have to do one day the fake Skinner episode. I think we should really do. I'll leave my thoughts to it till that episode.
Skinner thanks him and is about to cut their heads off, but no, he's saved them through, and he tells them of the danger of these Bolivian tree lizards. They've already wiped out the dodo, the nene, and that third bird.
The cuckoo.
The cuckoo.
Dodo, the cuckoo, and then the nene.
But also the tit pecker, the great tit, and the, I don't know, loads of other dirty puns.
Watch me, nene. Yeah.
It's then come down to a crisis. Does he want to keep the birds that are bad for the environment, or does he have to give them up? So he does go back to Marge, and again, I can see why this was one of Nancy's better episodes, because it's a real, I don't know, from the start. I know obviously they did it bit later, but I've not seen a lot of Marge and Bart dynamic. I usually think Bart and Homer is the go-to
Yeah.
dynamic. It's very different. I'd like to see it more, and I think they do it a lot more in later seasons, but I really like this dynamic in this episode. And there's also that learning curve, and he ends up reaching it, and Marge saying run for it because she knows her son actually means well and is trying to redeem himself.
Actually, to help for a change.
So Bart runs off, and Mo back at it again with Midge. Get out of the way, Midge. I always like that tiny little bit. I think he's only ever said it like 4 times, but whenever you think of Mo and Marge, it's just that, hey, Midge.
Oh my God, he's getting away! Stop him!
Out of the way, Midge. Oh, am I in the way?
Yes, you're in the way. Are you daft, woman?
Sorry, I didn't realize I was in the way.
You're still in the way. You don't seem to be moving at all.
Oh, for crying out loud, just knock her ass down.
Way to shove, Edna.
I think he said it more than 4. I just like the idea that he's in love with her, which has been played on it.
He's in love with her, but does not know her name.
Don't know her name. It's just, I think it just works for the type of sleazeball Mo is.
Oh, definitely, massive scuzzball. Also, people get the chance. King of the Hill, Bill and Peggy, exact same dynamic, and still very funny as well. Bart ends up running off. They end up going to the top of the school, or top of the centre, wherever they are. And Skinner's given them an ultimatum. But he decides to sacrifice the lizards. And it turns out they can actually fly.
I don't think it doesn't really sacrifice. I mean, he gets in a scruffle with Skinner and then throws Skinner openly throws the lizards over.
Oh, he does.
Over
Yes.
the building.
Yes,
Because
correct.
there's a bit after where he goes, where it turns out they can fly and they float down. The leaf asks Skinner, did you know they could fly? And he goes, yes, but I was hoping they didn't know that.
But he tells Bart that he's unleashed a virus onto the town. 2 weeks later, turns out the lizards were a godsend, getting rid of all the pests and rodents.
But isn't that a bit short-sighted? What happens when we're overrun by lizards?
No problem. We simply unleash wave after wave of Chinese needle snakes. They'll wipe out the lizards.
But aren't the snakes even worse?
Yes, but we're prepared for that. We've lined up a fabulous type of gorilla that thrives on snake meat.
But then we're stuck with gorillas.
No, that's the beautiful part. When wintertime rolls around, the gorillas simply freeze to death.
So, we now get to the final part of the actual ending. And this was the bit of the whole show that bugged me.
Okay.
It's very much her going like, oh yeah, Bart, you said blah 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 about these lizards, that you didn't want to contain them, but now you've released them, they're going to cause more harm than good. Yeah. Hey, wait a minute, that was my seat. So they don't actually wrap it up, they just state what has happened, and there's no finite end.
Conclusion, yeah.
And I believe, I don't know, season 10 onwards, they're very guilty of that.
I don't get it, Bart. You got all upset when you killed one bird, but now you've killed tens of thousands and it doesn't bother you at all.
Hey, you're right. I called the front seat.
You had it on the way over.
The big evidence that for me was the Das Bus one, where they're on the island. And it's fine, they have a food source, they kill the wild boar, but how they're saved, how they're saved, let's just save Mo. I don't know if that's intentionally writers getting screwy, or it's just, with that much of an established show, we can get away with it.
There is a really interesting part where it's like video on YouTube where it says where the Simpsons, the episode where the Simpsons died, and there's 2 examples. And one
I have
like
watched that,
classic
Sniper Wolf, yeah.
Yeah, it's the one with the fake Skinner, and Matt Groening hates that episode because it was an episode what he didn't okay, and then just made it, and it kind of just gets rid of all the whole character arc of Skinner just being this loser, and then all of a sudden he's not a loser. He's actually a really cool dude, but he's just faking who he is. But then by the end of it, we're just gonna make him fake who he is again.
Yes.
And no one's gonna mention it.
And the judge coming along, all of this has never happened, and whoever recounts it will be punishable by death.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
And then another one later down the series where the whole idea about the episode is Lady Gaga coming to town on a train.
Jesus, yeah.
It just feels like a massive ego trip kind of thing. rather than it's kind of like fucking Ed Sheeran in Game of Thrones.
All because Maisie Williams was a massive fan.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So, on the scale, on the totem pole, how are you ranking this?
What are we rating this one out of? Lizards or frozen
Bolivian.
gorillas?
I'll go Bolivian tree lizards. Are we flying high or flying low?
I don't know. So, what? Out of curiosity, what part of this do you just kind of peter off and forget about? Because you said you couldn't remember the ending.
I remember up to the second act break when you see the lizards hatch, but then I don't remember. I had trouble remembering what they were called, or how Skinner got involved in it, or how they nearly died and flew off.
I think this is one of the more classic examples of what The Simpsons is more now, where it feels like the beginning of the episode has nothing to do with the end of the episode. It's more clear now than it does later in the season, but I think this is the kind of first inkling at that, where it's got nothing to do with them going to the park and getting the BB gun, and it rather than it feeling like a coherent story like the episode we talked about in the pilot, it feels a lot more kind of, so then this happened, which can lead to this, and then can lead to this, and lead to that.
Right.
If you're following. So I think I'm going to give this one, I'm going to give it out of 10 rather than 5 this time.
Oh, okay.
I know. I'm going to give it 5.5 frozen gorillas out of 10.
Alright, okay. Mid-tier.
I think it's very mid tier. I don't know. There's jokes in it which are really funny, like the whole frozen gorilla bit and the whole not so much classic Simpsons where it's just kind of like I'll quote them to my friend, but just bits what just they still kind of make me laugh a little bit. Like for example, the pies and the 75 watt thing. What about you?
For me, I'm not going to be a Maverick or Mr. Cow reader. I'm going to stick with a nice 5 plan here. I'm going to go 3 Bolivian tree lizards out of 5 here. Yeah, I think it's mostly solid, but then again, I don't know, the ending still sort of sticks with me like a bad crawl there, so I'm going to have to keep it at a 3 to a 5. Alright, now it's the part of the show where we spin that wheel, randomly generate that episode, see what we're going to review for the next episode. Oh, okay, here we are. We're going back to Season 2 this time, Cal.
Okay.
Season 2, Episode 9, Itchy and Scratchy and Marge. I believe it's the one where Marge takes on the animators.
I thought the Poochie. I don't know why the Poochie one came in mind first, but no, I know which one it is.
All right. Well, hope you can join us next time for that special episode. Again, like, comment, and share on the Uncle Mo's Family Feedbag podcast Facebook page, and we will see you next time.
Come to Uncle Mo's for family fun. It's good.
Sounds good.